out there for right now. That is where we could be seeing the potential of some more problems. Apologies to everybody tuning in on YouTube, where we've got some microphone issues that we had to straighten out. Someone unplugged my microphones. I had to get them back up and working again and to test and see if everything was where it needed to be. So unfortunately, cut off some of the clip at the beginning portion of things there. So we are now live on News 12's YouTube page. Let me just double check here and make sure that everything is where it needs to be. If you've got any questions about what's going on, drop by our website for more details. Would love to see, again, more questions being asked for everything. Okay, yes, we are on with News 12's YouTube section, so everything looking pretty quiet for there. And let me just double check audio levels. And audio levels looking good there. If you're on Twitch, welcome to the show. It may have been a little bit since we've tuned in here. And let me just double check. Okay, audio levels are good, if not a little bit on the low side. So I think we are good to go at this point. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. It is Monday evening. And for tonight, again, not really much of anything really that much going on, but it does seem to look like we are going to be getting some pretty soggy conditions coming up here into the course of the next couple of days, and that's why we have the flooding situation on here with our graphic. That is what we could be looking at, and more importantly, this weather information here. Turn around, don't drown. To some people, it sounds like a stupid little poem and it doesn't do any good. If it gets people to think about being more protective and saving their own lives, I'm all for that. That sounds like a really good idea to me, but a lot of people out there have their own opinions about things, so fair enough on that. But as for right now, this is where we may be looking at the potential for more problems into the next couple of days with very heavy rainfall potential. We do have some scattered showers out there. Let's go ahead and get started and show you radar at this time. It looks like we've got some bright banding going on just north of the area, Chattanooga, and this is where we're from, Chattanooga, Tennessee. News 12 available here, but right back up around the I-40 corridor. This is pretty significant because when I was at home a little while ago walking the dog, that is some very cold rain coming down to where it was almost stinging when it hit your flesh. So a lot of what we're looking at here could be more intense rainfall. I got a very good suspicion that what we're looking at here is more in the way of sleet, maybe even snow from Liberty, Sparta, back over toward Crossville and coming off the plateau, heading down toward Farragut and over toward Knoxville. That, again, the higher elevations is where we may see some of that sleet mixed in with the rainfall out there. So definitely want to keep that in mind if you are going to be doing anything out there tonight in the way of driving, because of the fact that I think for right now it's going to be much colder back up to the north of the News 12 viewing area for this evening. So we do see, again, the potential for some wet roadways, and this could very well be sleet and snow mixed in with this. Now, beyond that, south of the Tennessee line, we'll zoom out a little farther here. We do not have much of anything going on where it comes to rainfall. We did have several scattered showers and still do south of the line of the Tennessee line, northeast Alabama and northwest Georgia. That is the worst of the worst for now, but there's going to be a better possibility of even more heavy rainfall the farther we go into the course of the next couple of days. So that is where we may see the potential with some more issues out there. We'll get to those coming up here in just a little bit. Basically, if you have any plans for being outdoors, again, tonight there's really just not that much going on, but we've got more moisture on the way coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. High pressure keeping things decently dry and quiet for this morning, but signs of our next storm system on approach, looking back to the north and west of the News 12 viewing area. Colder air back to our north, supplied by that area of high pressure, and a new cold front dropping into the area there. Now, when we go into the next few days, a lot of this is going to be going up and across the very cold air, which means we could be looking at more potential winter weather just up and to our north. Here in the News 12 viewing area, it's doubtful we're really going to see too much of anything going on. We do see, again, the potential for more problems out there with rain than anything else. So for tonight, again, we've got some fairly chilly conditions. Let's go ahead and give you an update on the right now situation. We don't have a lot going on. Again, we got a little bit of precipitation. Looking at downtown in the parking lot north of TVA and to the east of the Chattanooga Public Library. And also, again, you can see in the crosswalks looking down Market Street over toward Broad Street, there is a little bit of a shine going on as we have a decent amount of light rainfall, kind of hazy out there as well on the Bailey's heating and air camera. So for downtown Chattanooga, we've got some rain, not a lot going on. And then we have a little bit of a breeze taking place, flags on the TVA property waving around pretty well. Traffic on I-24 off toward Rossville exit is moving along. But for right now, it doesn't really, seem like anything in the way of major amounts of problems for the time being. Now, into the next several hours, here's what we have coming our direction. We do have the potential of more rainfall coming up. There's, again, not that much taking place here, but there will be in the course of the next couple of days. Our latest storm system is getting organized back across the southwest United States, digging a little farther back down toward the south and east. That's going to pick up that moisture as it heads a little bit closer to us. We then have new storm systems developing over the next several days, and these are going to be moving our direction one after the other. So we've got two storm systems coming through at first, a break, and then storm system number 3. That is where we may see the potential of more in the way of possibly stormy conditions going into and around the area of next week. But we'll talk more about that coming up here in just a bit. Let's run the forecast for you and give you an idea as to what's going on. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Weather Overtime. This is our online video weather blog, keeping you updated as to what's going on. We're live on YouTube and Twitch, so if you have any questions, we've got the stream chat function up and going. So if you'd like to ask anything, please drop it into the comments section. We'd love to hear where you're from, where you're viewing News 12 on, and to keep an idea as to what's going on with your forecast, particularly if you live right around the Chattanooga, Tennessee area. So definitely want to keep it tuned to News 12 for updates there. Now, for tomorrow morning, more rain chances, chilly with temperatures back in the lower to mid 40s. Into tomorrow afternoon, the first part of those 3 storm systems start making their way through the area, and that's where we may see the potential of some more heavy rain coming through. Storm system number 2 gets organized back to our west on Wednesday morning, lifts up and to the north of us toward Wednesday afternoon. That's going to be the heaviest chance of rainfall there. By Thursday morning, drier air makes its way on through. Snow on the ground back to the north of us from Kansas City, Springfield, St. Louis, all the way back to the D.C. metro area, the Beltway. And then we clear out nicely for Thursday. We'll get some more sunshine in here on Thursday. For Friday, we'll get, again, a start of a chilly area, but all the moisture should be gone at that point. And then on Saturday morning, more potential rainfall makes its way up from the Gulf, and that's before the next storm system runs into all that moisture and gives the potential of maybe some more thunderstorms with that mixture. That is where we could be looking at some more problems out there. So we've got 3 storm systems about ready to make their way on through, and that is where we may see more problems with the heavy rainfall. The rain we're talking about, again, in the next several days, 4 to 8 inches of rainfall, 4 to 6 primarily, 6 to 8 in spotty areas around here and there, but still possible. That's the important thing. Severe weather early on in the next day or two does not appear to be anything in the way of a problem, but it is something we need to watch out for. Now, the National Weather Services that cover this area were covered by Nashville, Huntsville, Morristown, and Peachtree City. For now, the only places in the News 12 viewing area that are not under a flood watch are Grundy County, Tennessee, that you're under National Weather Service Nashville jurisdiction there, and the northeastern Alabama counties of DeKalb and Jackson. You are also not under a flood watch at this time. Everybody else, including Hamilton County and Chattanooga, under a flood watch, which means that flash flooding is going to be possible here. This goes into effect tomorrow morning and stays in effect until Thursday morning. So this is where we see the potential of, again, the heaviest rainfall causing more problems. Now, again, for Grundy County, Tennessee, DeKalb and Jackson counties in Alabama, you're not under the watch at this point, but I would watch this, no pun intended, very carefully to make certain that when a watch is issued, you're going to be able to pay attention to what goes on in regards to what is happening with our current situation. So again, this, and let me just show you this from the National Weather Service in Morristown. This is the graphic you can find at weather.gov/MRX. Most likely rainfall scenario, again, we just showed you that information, to where we're looking at 6 to 8 inches from Chattanooga all the way up from Knoxville to La Follette, around the Sunbright area, Morristown, Taysville, even up to Jonesville. 4 to 6 inches of rain, Greenville, Mountain City, Kingsport, Gatlinburg. This is going to be a very heavy rainmaker, to say the least. And this is also the problem here. Periods of gusty winds for the mountain areas, and when you have the tree roots in the soil. It's great when it's dry, because any storms, any wind to blow on through can do a very good job of making those roots hang on to the soil. If that soil is wet, those roots can get pushed over very easily, and we could be looking at trees down, power lines down, debris on the roadways into the next several days, not to mention, and they're saying in here, the possibility of landslides in some locations, increased risk of downed trees and power lines across East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, and the North Carolina mountains. That is the area that Hurricane Helene came through and is still in a major cleanup and reset mode to get everybody back online with power and to get those washed out roadways back up again. So we've got a lot of possible problems. The rain, flash flooding first, landslides as well, and then the winds coming through, increasing the ripping out of the tree roots and maybe spreading some of that debris onto the roadways. So this is really not good news for the next couple of days. And that, again, from the National Weather Service in Morristown. That particular graphic there is where we get a decent amount of our information. So, excuse me, this being said, how far extended does this go? Regionally, again, from southern middle Tennessee to West Virginia, western Virginia, and into eastern Tennessee, extreme western North Carolina, and northwestern Georgia. Those are just the flood watches that are in effect, and a good possibility we'll see more of those into the next day or so, depending on what goes on. Now, this is not for our area specifically, but this is something that really does need to be paid attention to from the Colorado High Plains, from the Panhandles, from Kansas. I already talked to my mom, and she's going to get her groceries delivered tomorrow back in Topeka, so she's set and ready to go. And then from southern Missouri, Iowa, the upper Mississippi Valley, all the way back to the Delmarva Peninsula and the D.C. Beltway, that is where we could be looking at the potential of some winter weather. So into and around, give or take, call it I-40. That is where I-40 north to around I-70. That's going to be the worst of any winter weather. So if you're planning on traveling anywhere between Denver and D.C., watch these next systems coming on through. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and give you an idea as to what we may be looking for here. This map is going to be a mess. Let's just start off by saying that more than anything else. This map is going to look very crowded and very messy, but you've got snow in blue, freezing rain in the magenta, and orangish, bluish, purplish is sleet. So you'll notice a couple of things here. Number one, most of that activity through about Tuesday afternoon stays well to our north. We are not picking up anything here, but looking right over the Appalachians on the other side of the News 12 viewing area, that's where we could be looking at some freezing rain and sleet potential. Knoxville, more over toward between Knoxville and Asheville, primarily toward Asheville, and then from, again, Springfield, back over toward Pittsburgh, Kansas, all the way back over to the Delmarva and Chesapeake Bay. That is where we may see the potential of more snow out there. And then as we go into very early Wednesday morning, some of that moisture wanders a little bit closer to northern parts of Georgia and western North Carolina. So even though it's not going to be much, remember it doesn't take much in the way of frozen and or freezing precipitation to cause major road problems. And then anything from I-44, Rolla, Missouri, up around between I-40 and I-70, that is where we may be seeing that decent corridor right through here of winter weather. So that could cause some snarls and the potential of some slow traffic, maybe even stopped traffic, depending on what goes on. Too warm here for anything but rainfall. Now watch the area back around Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and Nebraska. As we go from Wednesday into Thursday, you're going to see another round coming on through. That one going up to Chicago, Gary, Detroit, lower peninsula of Michigan, northern Ohio, northern Indiana, and that looks like we could be seeing some major problems heading up into southeastern Canada. So for right now, this is where we see this 1, 2, 3 punch, and this one is just the 1-2 punch right here. We will see the potential of maybe some severe weather coming our way with the next system to roll on through toward, again, about Saturday. But a lot can change between here and there, and that is where we're going to be, again, watching things very carefully into the course of the next couple of days. Now, if you have any outdoor plans, you might be able to keep them toward Thursday and Friday, but I think for right now, the problem we're going to be looking for is the best potential of stronger weather coming up as we go into this weekend. We'll show you the 7-day right now and give you an idea as to what we're looking at. Sky shine, not seeing too much in the way of raindrops on the camera lens from Island Cove, and again, you can get to here from our EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam Network. EPB, proud sponsor. Thank you very much for being our sponsor. We also see, again, if you want to see the cameras on our website, wdef.com/weather, to pick up the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam Network. Next couple of days, and this is where it gets really interesting. Again, the first 1-2 shot coming on through is this system here, where we get windy conditions and chilly. It's going to be a pretty raw Tuesday coming up. Temperatures increase a bit on Wednesday. That's the heaviest potential of rainfall coming on through. We get rid of the rain early on Thursday. The flood watch goes away. We've got Thursday and Friday, so Thursday into Valentine's Day actually looks to be pretty good. Mainly sunny skies and decently quiet. So it looks like Friday, hopefully you won't have to have the umbrella for you and your significant other to head out on the town. We'll get very warm and possibly very windy. It says a slight risk here, but that's kind of a misnomer. That should just say severe threat, and I'll have to fix that before News 12 at 11. This far out, again, the Storm Prediction Center can give us marginal, slight, anything in the way of involving potential of severe weather anytime soon. But toward the weekend, this is where it gets, again, a little bit more fuzzy as we go into the next several days. So let me just change that around for now so that that's ready to go. What we're looking at here, again, on Saturday, it's a potential for severe weather, yes, but is it going to be marginal, slight, moderate, enhanced? Too early to tell on that. This far out, again, is more experimental mode with severe weather threat, so it is possible to get some severe weather on Saturday as this third storm system rolls on through. That right there, that third system, is where we look for the potential of maybe the strongest weather, not the heaviest rainfall. That'll be coming through here in about the next 72 hours. Then we see that severe weather threat on Saturday, and that rain will linger into Sunday. Could be some flash flooding here as well, so that is definitely something to watch out for there. If you're planning on traveling, if you're planning on outdoor activities, if you're planning on basically anything that is going to be outdoors, a couple of schools have already canceled for the next couple of days. That information, if you would like to take a look at it, let me get back to my show prep here for just a second. For tomorrow, again, the threat for the entire day will be rainfall and maybe some rumbles of thunder. Fog early, could be a little breezy, so with temperatures like this, we may have a wind chill throughout the rest of the day. It's not much, but it is temperatures back in the lower 40s. It is going to be going to school and coming back home again. It is going to be a very raw Tuesday, so not fun for waiting around in the school bus in shirt sleeves and an umbrella. Make certain the kids are bundled up underneath the raincoat and make certain that they have adequate protection against that breeze. Blowing that wind around can catch rain on many different locations and many different ways. So definitely want to make certain you're bundled up against the chill and the wind, and again, the possibility of rain out there. And not looking much better for Wednesday either. But for right now, this is the way it's going to be looking like into tomorrow. So that, again, could be a bit of a situation for anybody doing anything outdoors, school, walking for exercise. Kay Blevins, my co-anchor here, she's got she said she was going to try to get in some of her miles tonight instead of waiting for the morning, because again, tomorrow out and about may not be the best idea to be out and about anytime soon. Didn't get the name on the pupper, but thank you very much, Bruce Jackson from Graysville, for a view of the pupper, comfortable on his or her sofa. Again, thanks for the very kind words there as well. That's our dog walking forecast pupper picture of the day. And temperatures in the morning with more rainfall. It is going to be soggy, chilly, and kind of a mess overall. So if I know Marlo T. Shorkey, House Onic Weather Dog, she's going to want to go out and come right back in, because she is not going to enjoy this weather that close to the ground and with that much rainfall coming up. Again, for tomorrow, if you have any plans for outdoors, I really think indoors would be your best bet, because you've got fog, you've got cloudy skies, you've got rain, you've got breeze, you've got temperatures that will be just below normal, and it's going to be pretty raw out there for anything involved, and that includes going out and chasing the little white ball around. So if you have plans for that, if this is the type of weather you like to be out and about in, that's great. Keep in mind there may be thunderstorms, isolated but still possible, again, in and around the area. So if you're out and about tomorrow, that's on you, but that is something to watch out for. And again, as soon as there's lightning when you're outdoors, everybody back inside once again. So please consider that in your outdoor preps into tomorrow. That's going to be one of the worst things to be, is on a broad, flat level surface with an iron bar in your hand, steel, whatever it is, chasing a ball around the course with lightning on the horizon. That's it, and that's all. Time to get inside now. Not in a half an hour, not when your round is done. Now. That is the safest way to be. Again, as we approach just past 10 o'clock, there is really not that much going on as we see more chances of showers out there. I still think a lot of this is snow and sleet, maybe some heavier rainfall, but possible bright banding going on well back up to our north. All right, that's pretty much it for tonight. Let's get some extracurricular stuff in here real quick before we call it quits for tonight. Thanks to Mary Glover, News 12 viewer from Athens, for a view of the freezing fog a couple of weeks ago. That's our Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, let's see them. Send them in to us by email, drop them to our social media pages, or go to wdef.com/photos to see your pictures and see what everybody else has been submitting for the Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. We don't really have much of anything else going on in the near future. We do have, again, several meetings taking place over the next several weeks. The January 30th meeting was postponed for DeKalb and Jackson counties in Alabama for Skywarn Spotter. When the National Weather Service Huntsville reschedules this, we will let you know, so stay tuned. March 20th, Bradley County County, Tennessee, Walker Valley High School. March 20th is a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, 6 p.m. Eastern. Register for more at the National Weather Service Morristown's website. And March 27th, Marion County, Jasper, Tennessee, 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Note the time change there and the time difference on the one or either side of the timeline at the Lawson Building in Jasper, Tennessee. That one also sponsored by and taught by the National Weather Service in Morristown. So if you'd like to go ahead and get registered for that, please do so. Best way to do that is to go to the National Weather Service website. This page, again, available for Cleveland and Bradley County, weather.gov/MRX. Sign up here. Sometimes there's only a limited amount of space for these meetings. You may have, like with Hamilton County and Chattanooga, only 100 spots. And when that's it for the people showing up, that's all they can accept due to fire laws and crowding and exit venues and things like that. That is something to really keep in mind. If you'd like to attend, great, no problem, but just please go to their website and register so the National Weather Service can keep an eye on who exactly, how many people are showing up and how many spaces they need to have available. That is one of the most polite, neighborly things you can possibly do instead of just showing up out of the blue. So please register ahead of time. And again, there's one coming up in Marion County as well about a week after this one. So stay tuned to News 12 and we'll bring you more about that information. Don't forget also that if you can't make any of the meetings, the National Weather Service in Morristown has an online virtual Skywarn spotter training session. You can study the information online, you can take and pass the quiz, and then register with your National Weather Service forecast office. Again, we are covered by 4 different offices here in the News 12 viewing area. So register with your local National Weather Service office, become a Skywarn spotter, and the more spotters we have out there watching for what goes on, the safer we all are. This is not a chase course. Again, this is a spotter's course. And yes, there's going to be someone out there who says, well, duh, it says that in the title. Well, calling attention to that for anybody who wants to become a chaser, this is a good place to start, but it is not a chase course. You do not chase storms unless you have been properly trained by experts. You do not want to become, according to Professor Emeritus Charles Chuck Doswell, and the moniker is very well earned in my not so humble opinion, you don't want to become a storm chasing yahoo. That denigrates the name of proper storm chasers out there. You don't just jump in a car or a truck and chase after stuff. Yes, you may consider that makes you a storm chaser, but if you get in the way of an emergency vehicle, if you get killed, if you cost somebody else their life because you didn't know what you were doing, you shouldn't have been on the road as a storm chaser in the first place. So if you'd like to know more about how to be a storm chaser, great, no problem. Start here. Get this information and go from there, and then you can become a proper, well-trained, and responsible storm chaser. Responsibility, it's a key thing out there. Uncle Ben knew about that talking to Peter Parker a long time ago. So for the next couple of days, mainly just rainfall being seen. Don't forget also we have a video online that you can take, and you can find out more about taking the getting your weather alert radio signed up and properly programmed. That's at wdef.com/weather for more information there. All right, time is coming up on 10:15. I think that should probably just about do it for tonight. Got the weather picture in. Oh, let me do one more thing here because we haven't done this in a while. What did I do with this? Let's see. Okay, here we go. This has not been up here for quite some time, and want to make certain everybody's seeing this properly out there. This is, again, a good opportunity to learn more about what is happening out there. We have these quizzes up around, and we talk about what goes on with this system. The Led Zeppelin song, The Rain Song, on the album Houses of the Holy was initially titled what? Snow, Slush, or Smog? And actually, the working title for a time was actually Slush. 40% of you got that right, and 40% of you got the tied amount wrong answer with snow. 20% of you chose smog, but actually the title was slush. That's our bell tone. Weather question of the day. Thanks to everybody who participated. We'll have a new poll going up about midnight. And of course, you can go to WDEF.com/vote now or use the QR code to get there. Weather, news, sports, popular opinion, quizzes. Go ahead and sign up for that. Again, go to give us your opinion at WDEF.com/vote now. We would love to hear from you on that. All right, I think that should do it for tonight. Again, it is quiet for now. We've got some rain chances out there for this evening. But in the next several days, you're really going to have to pay attention to what's going on. Again, this is serious. Never, ever, ever, ever drive through water-covered roadways. This could be one of the last mistakes that you ever make. Yes, it is that serious, to where you get 6 inches to a foot of moving water. That can move a typical car off the roadway, even an SUV. Yes, even those of you who have four-wheel drive, it is possible with the force of that water flowing through there to shove a car, a big car, off of the roadway, and then you go floating away, your electrical system shorts out, you can't open your windows, and you're trapped in a car with rapidly rising water as your car sinks. This could be the last mistake you ever make. So please use caution and common sense. Again, never drive through. You can't see the bottom of the roadway. You don't even know if the road is still there. You have no idea what's floating through here. That could also pin your doors shut and make escape almost impossible. You don't know what's floating through that water, poisonous snakes or toxic waste or anything else of that nature, which is possible. Some of these places to where when the water gets high enough, the sanitary systems will shut off, and the effluent, the stuff that goes down your sinks, your drinking fountains, your toilets, will go flowing right through that. And that's not something that I would really like to get stuck in. Least of all, the last thing I would like to be taking my last breath in. So again, you want to stay away from anything involving this. So please remember, yes, some of you are not going to like this and maybe a little bit more degradatory in your comments, but turn around, don't drown. If it changes one person's mind and keeps them safe and says, nope, I'm not driving through this, I'm getting out of here, I say it's worth it. If you don't like it, that's your right. But again, for some of you out there, you get a little bit too persnickety about things that are, really meant to help people. So maybe a little bit more positivity would not be such a bad idea. So for tonight, we'll keep it again updated for you on the rainfall potential in the next several days. We'll keep you updated again on News 12. Chip Chapman will have your forecast bright and early in the morning. And of course, I'll have more through the rest of the week with these storm systems, plural, heading on through, and that chance of severe weather. Don't forget about that. We'll be watching that as we go into the weekend, and we'll see what the Storm Prediction Center says as we get closer to that event. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight who popped in on YouTube and Twitch. Really nice to have you on board and at least taking a look around for a little bit. Email address, questions, ideas, anything like that, complaints if you absolutely must. Again, aonic@wdef.com. Website at the bottom of the screen. And again, this is where we will post our latest video to, so you can see more about what went on tonight with Weather Overtime at wdef.com/weather. Live and direct on Monday evening, the 10th of February. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onick. Thanks for joining us for Weather Overtime tonight, and stay tuned for more on News 12 at 11, and of course coming up on Tuesday morning with News 12's Chip Chapman, and I'll see you back here again tomorrow evening. Thanks for joining us, and have a good